What's up, everyone? It's Michael here, aka Dangstrat. I hope all is well. Today is Tuesday, May 6th, and currently is 5:18 a.m. Eastern Time as I make this video. Here is my weekly outlook for the rest of the week. So starting off with DXY on the weekly chart, you can see, we've deviated that range high. Now we're looking at a deviation on the range low, and if you zoom in onto the daily, so this is the external range low that we have taken out. We're currently trading back above that level. So I'm treating this as a deviation, and right now these past couple days on the daily time frame, we've been in consolidation. You can see that we're currently holding this daily fair value gap here, and what I would want to see is a potential raid on this low here one more time. So we can raid this low and then reverse off of here. That would be my most ideal scenario for me for DXY. So zooming in onto the 4-hour time frame, again, you can see that there's lots of consolidation right now since Friday. So ideally, I would like to see these lows get taken out. Maybe, retest this inverse fair value gap and then trade higher from there. So this is my most ideal scenario. And then some upside targets would be the previous week's high here. And then you also have this daily fair value gap here. So these will be my upside targets for DXY. And moving over to EU. So last week's outlook, it played out almost to the exact T that I was looking for, except we didn't take out the weekly fair value gap. I was looking for a deviation on this high here, and we did deviate above that level, but the price delivery on this was quite ugly. It left low resistance liquidity highs, and it was also just a slower grind down. But right now, again, we do have equal lows here at this weekly fair value gap, and then we do have that daily fair value gap down below for a next potential target for the rest of the week. But right now I am looking at this weekly fair value gap for the next target, and this range right here is Monday's range. So this is Monday's low. You can see we've deviated Monday's low. I think we could potentially trade back into Monday's high and maybe even potentially take out this high here. So looking at DXY, right, this high and this high are the same highs, or excuse me, this low here from Friday, 7 a.m. is basically this high here from Friday. So ideally, I would want to see, I think we could potentially trade back into Monday's high and then look for lower prices from there. So maybe look for another deviation of this range here, Monday's range, and then start looking for lower prices from there. So that is currently what I'm looking at for EU. I know on the lower time frames right now, this could be a potential setup here where you can treat this as a breakup structure, but to me this is not the cleanest setup just because there's still that low resistance liquidity. I would like to see this go a little bit higher, and especially for GU, you look on GU on the daily time frame. Last week it did take out our higher time frame objective of this range high here. So now that it's taken out that, it has formed this daily fair value gap here. And this is an external range high that it took out. So now ideally I would like to see this go to this weekly fair value gap below here for GU. So this is my next higher time frame target. I think short term it could trade into this daily fair value gap here, and then looking for lower prices off this daily fair value gap. So that is what I'm currently looking at for GU. Moving on to the indices market now. And overall, I am still, bullish on ES and NQ. I talked about this low here. This low, it took out the 2024 yearly low, and it hit the monthly demand zone. We've been trading higher since, and I think right now we're still trading inside of this range here, inside of Friday's range. So, one thing to watch now is see which side it takes out first. And, if it takes out Friday's low first, then I would be looking for, a potential deviation on Friday's low. And then, if it takes out that low, see if it can reclaim it, and then look for something like this. This would be my ideal scenario here for ES. Let's go on to the weekly time frame. And again, we're still inside week here. And now we are closing, or we did close above this down close candle last week. So that should be a nice POI for, this week at 55.90 for ES. So this will become an order block here, weekly order block. And so yeah, I will be looking for longs off this level here for ES for this week. Moving over to NQ. NQ, kind of the same idea here. That order block is a little bit further away. So right now we have this small little gap, and basically I'll be using Friday's range this week. So here's Friday's high, here is Friday's low. Right now it's looking like it'll take out the low first. So if it takes out the low, we'll see if we get a deviation on the low. Looking for so this 4-hour chart here, you can see this is a raid here, and ideally I think this H4 order block should hold as the POI. So I think we could potentially take out this low here. You can use this range here. So you have range high, range low. It deviated the range high. Yesterday, it retraced into this fair value gap, and then started trading lower. Now we're drawing towards that range low. Now looking for this level to get taken out, and then potentially raid this order block. So something like this would be the ideal scenario or ideal setup for me for ES, or excuse me, NQ. Same idea with ES though. So here is your raid, and here is the order block. Now here is the key low, and then also that blue line is that weekly demand zone. So this is like this 55.90 area, lots of confluence for higher prices there. So I really like this level for longs. Moving on to BTC, and start off on the weekly chart. Last week, not too much in terms of, price action. We kind of did close with this shooter candle. But one thing, let's go on the monthly chart just because, we got some new monthly candles now. Well, first, I'm going to remove all of the drawings. So, again, starting off, going back to DXY, again, took out that external liquidity. Here, EU took out this high. GU took out this high. ES, you can see this really nice monthly hammer candle, and then you can see also it rated this monthly fair value gap down here. It hit this monthly demand zone here, and now we have that nice long wick there for ES on the monthly. Same thing with NQ, nice monthly close, and you can see BTC, very nice monthly close for April. So again, I am expecting higher prices. I think this will be potentially the local bottom here for BTC, potentially bottom for the rest of the year. In my opinion, I do think we will probably, make new all-time highs. We'll probably trade a little bit higher, and then I think we will top out sometime in September is what I'm expecting. The reason why I say September is, again, if you follow the halving cycles, typically 500 days before the halving date, it bottoms, and then 500 days after the halving date, it tops out. So 500 days after, this most recent halving date would be around September. So that's kind of where I'm looking at for a potential top. But, short term, or, over the next couple weeks and months, I think we most likely from here, we're at 94K right now. I think we could most likely retest this range low here at about 89K. And then from there, I would like to see, market start trending higher or trading higher. So we've created this weekly fair value gap here. Ideally, I would like to see this retest this range low, and then trade higher from there for BTC. And then here is the total 3 chart for the total crypto market cap, excluding BTC and Ethereum. Overall, the structure still looks nice. We had that double raid inside that monthly fair value gap. So right now it is retesting or retracing back into this weekly fair value gap here, but I think it could probably go lower to this demand zone right there, or this order block, POI, whatever you want to call it, the open of this down close candle. Ethereum is lagging like always. We'll see if this can reclaim the range low. Sol is looking decent here, but again, I think overall the best setup, or the strongest crypto is BTC. So this will be the one that I will continue to monitor. So that is it for today. I hope all is well, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace out.